It began not with a declaration, not with honor, but with mockery. The Zelthari dominion was vast, ancient, and merciless. They had devoured hundreds of civilizations, shackled countless species, and etched their dominion across half the galaxy. When they encountered the colony of Novus Gaia, a fledgling human world still wrapped in its infancy, they did not see warriors. They saw prey. Their warships descended without warning. Their voices transmitted across the surface in dripping contempt. "Humans," the overlord of the fleet proclaimed, his words translated into a dozen tongues. "Your chain-bound ancestors crawled from mud less than an epoch ago. Did you think yourselves worthy of space? Did you believe your fragile species could stand where empires tread? No, you are vermin that escaped the cradle. Today, we remind you of your station." Orbital bombardments followed. Entire cities, homes, schools, hospitals were erased in blinding fire. The colony's defenses were brushed aside like leaves in the wind. The survivors were herded, their cries ignored. Thousands were executed live, streamed to the Dominion's networks as entertainment. The Zelthari mocked them in laughter. They dragged the human governor before the cameras, bound in iron chains they had brought specifically for the symbolism. The governor's pleas for mercy echoed through space until a plasma blade silenced him. And as the Dominion's ships departed, leaving only burning ash behind, their final transmission to Earth was laced with scorn. "You are broken. Remain broken, or we shall return to finish what we began." Empires laugh at the Ash's news, spread like wildfire across the galactic stage. To the empires that watched from their jeweled thrones, humanity's suffering was not tragedy. It was amusement. The Kalari Confederates laughed in their courts, wagering how long before humanity begged for protection. The merchant guilds of Valok toasted to the Dominion's conquest, confident that another rival to trade routes had been crippled. Even the silent observers, the species who lived only to watch, recorded the slaughter as if it were spectacle. Another chapter in the long history of Dominion supremacy. The galaxy mocked Earth's silence. Too young, they said. Too small, they jeered. Too fragile to matter, they concluded. And so the Dominion grew bolder. They broadcast images of human children dragged in chains, waving the broken bodies of colonists like banners, certain that Earth would recoil in submission. But the galaxy misunderstood. Silence was not weakness. Silence was sharpening steel. The silence before the storm on Earth, no laughter echoed. Only silence, nations united without debate, armies mobilized without hesitation. The Council of Earth convened and spoke only one sentence. "The chains they placed upon us shall be returned to them, as blades." The silence deepened into something the galaxy did not comprehend. Resolve. Deep within Earth's shipyards, dreadnoughts stirred. Machines that had slept, half-built and untested, were awoken. Orbital foundries blazed day and night, churning out weapons of war that had been kept hidden, long dismissed as human paranoia. Experimental rail cannons the length of cities. Warheads designed not for deterrence but extermination. Stealth ships that could vanish into the darkness of space itself. The old fleets, the ones humanity had once sworn would only be defensive, were reforged into spears. Marines drilled until their bodies were machines of war, their training driven by a fury the Dominion could not measure. And then, Earth's silence broke. It began with a whisper that raced across subspace. Humanity does not forget. Humanity does not forgive. Outposts belonging to the Dominion began to vanish. A trade convoy entered a jump corridor and never emerged. Its wreckage later found drifting, cut into ribbons by railgun fire. Slave camps were liberated in silence, their guards butchered before they could call for aid. The Dominion laughed again at first. Terrorist acts, they said. Desperation from a species too weak to fight a real war. But then, Dominion patrol fleets vanished. Entire garrisons disappeared. Their orbital bastions fell dark, one by one. Reports trickled in, scattered and confused. Human ships, too fast. Their weapons tear through shields. They fight like they were born for this. And then the galaxy stopped laughing. The chains become blades. A war truly began on the day Earth unveiled its vengeance. A Dominion armada, 200 warships strong, gathered above the planet of Karthos to celebrate their victory. Banners waved, soldiers paraded, and the Governor-General proclaimed the humans broken forever, and then the stars vanished. For above the skies of Karthos, shadows moved. So vast, so countless, they blotted out the sun. It was not one fleet, not 10, but hundreds. Human warships, their hulls black as void, their weapons gleaming like the wrath of forgotten gods. The Dominion broadcast the moment live, expecting to display humanity's final defeat. But the galaxy watched in horror as the humans spoke. "This is Earth. Your chains are ours now. We return them as blades." And then the slaughter began. Human dreadnoughts unleashed rail cannon fire that split capital ships in half. Plasma lances tore through the proudest Dominion carriers. Drop pods rained upon the surface, unleashing armored soldiers whose rage made them unkillable. Every chain once bound around human throats was now repurposed, forged into blades, hooks, and strangling wires used to cut down the Dominion's officers in symbolic vengeance. Carthos burned, its skies filled with wreckage, its oceans boiled with fire. The Dominion's proudest fleet, gone in hours, and Earth did not stop. One by one, Dominion worlds fell. The humans struck with precision and fury, cutting deep into the heart of their empire. They targeted shipyards, slave foundries, noble estates, the very symbols of Dominion arrogance. Where chains once clattered, human soldiers left only silence. The galaxy watched, aghast, as Earth's vengeance spread like wildfire. Retribution unleashed. The climax came at the Dominion throne world itself. The supreme overlord of the Zelthari, who once laughed as he slaughtered human colonists, stood now in a palace trembling with fear. His fleets were shattered, his armies broken, his subjects whispering rebellion in the shadows. He looked to the stars, desperate for allies, but none came. For the galaxy had seen what humanity had become, and none dared stand in their way. When the humans arrived, it was not with a fleet. It was with an armada so vast it looked like a moving night sky. Countless warships, each larger than the ones before, escorted by swarms of smaller vessels, blotting out constellations. Their arrival was silent. No threats, no negotiation, only inevitability. The bombardment began with precision strikes that shattered planetary defenses, silenced orbital rings, and turned the throne world skies into firestorms. Then the ground shook as human armies descended, clad in armor that glowed with unyielding fury. They marched not as soldiers, but as executioners. Every chain they found, every shackle once worn by slaves, was melted into molten steel and poured over the statues of Dominion rulers. Every overseer, every officer, every noble who had once laughed at humanity's suffering. Their throats were cut with blades forged from broken chains. Their screams broadcast to every corner of the empire. And finally, in the palace of the Supreme Overlord, humanity's vengeance reached its peak. The Overlord, trembling, offered surrender, wealth, even subjugation. The human commander replied only with words carved into legend. "We do not want your surrender. We want your silence." The Overlord's throat was cut with the same chains he had once wrapped around humanity's dead governor. His body was left upon his throne, a warning carved in iron above him. Never again. The aftermath of silence. When the fires faded, when the screams quieted, silence returned to the galaxy. The Dominion was no more. Its fleets were wreckage drifting in dead space, its nobility slaughtered, its throne shattered. Worlds once enslaved found themselves free, but too terrified to celebrate, because they remembered who had freed them. Whispers spread in shadowed halls, across merchant guilds and alien courts, echoing in every corner of the galaxy. Earth is patient. Earth is silent. Earth does not forgive. The galaxy learned a lesson carved in fire and steel. Humanity's chains had been broken, but they had not been cast aside. They had been reforged into blades sharper than anything the stars had ever known, and those blades would remain forever, waiting in silence, until the next arrogant empire dared provoke Earth. For the galaxy now knew the truth. Spoken in whispers none dared shout. Earth's broken chains became blades cutting alien throats, and silence followed.